All right guys, today we're working on a Bugatti Veyron. Not that this car needs any introduction, it's really amazing, but a lot of you have asked, how do you take care of Alcantara and suede? How do you clean it and then keep those fibers sticking up? It is a little bit trickier and I'm gonna go through a bunch of the steps, but just before I do, this is a pure blanc. This is one of one Bugatti and the whole thing is Alcantara, so I don't know if I could find a better example. I'm really excited, I love this kind of stuff. And as you can see here, I'll pull the camera in, there's little stains which are super common because this is the armrest. You're gonna have little dots of gunk here and there, and of course, stuff that comes off your hand. So we're gonna address this today. So what I'm gonna do is the first thing is I have a interior cleaner, as I'm sure you've seen before, called lather. That's for plastic, leather, and vinyl. But I also have one called shag, which is a fabric cleaner, meaning carpet or fabric, because this is a type of, it has piles, things stick up. So what I'm gonna use is this product, and I have my brush, and I have my pad if it gets really bad. And of course I have a vacuum right here, and I'll show you a little trick we're gonna do with that. And then steam machine. So right off the bat, you can use the steam machine, but I would imagine most of you, not everybody has a steam machine just lying around. So what you do is you'd steam this little area here, just lightly agitate it, and then come back with a microfiber towel. So we'll do that in a little bit, but I want to show you sort of the easier way, if you will. Take your shag, put it on a microfiber, this clean microfiber cloth, a few little squirts. See it there? Then I'm going to come in and just, lightly dab it. And the idea is not to crush those, that shag down. All right, so let's do that real quick. And you'll be able to see a little bit of gunk coming off. All right. So there's a little bit of gunk in there. I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but right here is a little bit of gunk. Now, we'll go to the next step. So it's somewhat similar to doing the interior. I'm going to take my little interior brush, just a little bit of squirting. I'm going to come in and lightly, very lightly, tickle the fibers, just to kind of release that gunk. I'll come in here, a clean little, I'm barely touching, and the idea is to not mat it down, not to crush it down, because then it gets all funky colors. And I'll show you a few more steps and kind of the trick to keeping these sticking up. That's the idea. See, there's a little bit of gunk there. I'm not sure if it's coming up on camera, but it's right there. Now again, just like the interior, you can use your scrub pad as well. I don't think this one needs it, so I'm just going to pretend here a little bit. But you can go in and get a tiny bit more aggressive if there's a stain. Again, this car in particular doesn't need it, but I wanted to show you the steps. So the idea is to have a product that allows you, much like when you're doing the leather, allows you to change the aggressiveness based on, aggressiveness 1, microfiber towel, aggressiveness 2, oh, you need a little more strength, you need this one, aggressiveness 3. So it allows you to kind of work with what you have, not one size fits all. So let's say, actually let me finish this little spot right here. I'm going to come in, just tiniest little bit. You don't want to oversaturate these things. That's why the steam machine is also very good. If you have lots of real estate to cover, I call it, lots of Alcantara, and it's not that dirty in here, but armrest, as you can imagine, is always going to be the prime location. So I come in, I'm not pushing hard. I like to go back and forth, big swooping motions. I try not to do little curls because then sometimes it'll curl up the fibers as well. You don't want that. Now, the little trick that I like to do, so now in my opinion this is clean, and there's a lot of gunk that came off in this, is I turn my vacuum on. This one happens to be a Fest tool. So I'm going to turn it on, it's going to get loud. Now the idea is to come in, and you'll see I'll hold the vacuum, and I hold the vacuum. See my fingers? They're a little bit dirty, but see my fingers? I'll hold it just like this so that it's not touching the Alcantara. So my fingers are actually touching. Now it's that far off the Alcantara, but what it's doing is it's pulling up the fibers again. Now, if you touch the fibers, it's not the end of the world, but the idea is you don't want to. Now, for me, I know this is going to sound goofy, I actually sand the tip of my vacuum so that it doesn't have any sharp spots. So sometimes I can vacuum inside the creases of the leather when I'm doing another car. So I pull the leather open, right? And then I kind of get in there and vacuum. I don't want any sharp edges to, you know, make a mistake and scratch anything like that. So I actually take a little bit of sandpaper. You can actually use your wet sandpaper when it's old before I throw it away. I come in here and I just sand it down so there's nothing. So even if I were to just touch it, like I'm touching like $1 million car right now, I wouldn't want to do that if it was going to make a mistake. That's why I do that. It's a little trick for you there. So I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to put my finger right along the edge here so it's barely touching. And if it touches, it's fine as long as it's sanded. But I'm not going to go in there and scrub it. That doesn't make sense. And I'm going to pick up the fiber. So let's do that real quick. So we'll turn this on. You're going to take the vacuum, just barely pick it up. Now I'll do my best to pull the camera in, but you'll see the little fibers. They're down like this after I clean them. After I've cleaned them, they're down like this, and then once the vacuum comes up, they'll go whoop, and they'll pull back up. All right, so now I've pulled out any of the junk that was left in there, any of the little bit of moisture that was left in there. And then what I'll do is you can use a different brush. I have multiple brushes like this, but you can use a different one and just lightly come in and bring those fibers back up again, right? So now it looks normal. Now a lot of times what I do is I'll put little stripes in there just to show the customer that it was redone and looking good. So I'll pull the camera in and show you the little stripes section here. I'm going to continue here, continue up there. It's a slower process. You have to take your time. You have to be gentle, and you have to use the right products. I know it's sort of the same idea as leather, but leather you can kind of get in there and be more aggressive. But I know a lot of you have asked, so I was waiting for the perfect example, and you could not get a better car to do that. So I'll pull the camera in and just show you that. It looks beautiful. I've put some stripes in there, kind of gives it that Yankee Stadium, freshly cut lawn feel, nice and clean. And then I'm gonna work on the steering wheel. Now the steering wheel, same sort of idea. I like to spray a lot of cleaner, a little bit more than I normally would use here, on the towel, but in a straight line. So now I have a line of cleaner, and then I'll wrap it around the steering wheel and just kind of give it a little bit of grip, and kind of get in there. Now the steering wheel is usually kind of really not good because you got gunk on your hands. So I'll be sure to get in there. Yikes! See, there's dirt all over the place. Same thing like I did before with my brush. I'll also agitate it just a little bit, and then come back in there with the vacuum and pick it up a little bit. That one's going to be a little bit more matted for obvious reasons that you're squeezing it. So. You can also use, by the way, compressed air, but you got to be a little bit further away. The idea is when the hairs are down, you want to be able either to blow them up or to suck them up with the vacuum to get them to stand up once they're clean. Does that make sense? So clean, and then bring them back up, and that'll give you that rejuvenated look like, wow, it's brand new again. So you have to walk a little bit of a fine line, but that's sort of the ideas or the techniques that I'll use when doing Alcantara or suede. So recap quick, use a specific cleaner that's made for fabrics and things that have pile versus a leather conditioner or a leather cleaner. So use that. Start off, step one, much like the leather, use a microfiber towel. Most of the time it'll come off. That doesn't work. Go to step two, use a brush, a very light agitation, smooth, not gonna do too much damage. And number three, if you really gotta get in there and hammer some stuff home, put your finger right on the edge like you have here on the scrub pad. Just lightly get in there and scrub it so you have 3 different ranges with one product. If you're a professional, you can also use a steam machine for lots of what I call real estate. If you have to do a lot at a time, I like to use this. At the end, vacuum it up, but you can also remember to sand down the tip here so it doesn't scratch anything up. And finally, you can use compressed air, but make sure you have the right amount of air and it's further away. You can feel it. But that's sort of the quick version of how to clean Alcantara properly. Just do it safely, do it slow, and it'll turn out nice. And at the end, my nice little thing I like to do for customers is to put a little bit of striping in there so they see and feel that it's clean. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email at larry@ammonyc.com. Thanks for watching, of course. And we'll shoot more videos working on, we got a Rolls Royce behind us. We got a few other fun cars, but I appreciate you guys watching. I'll talk to you soon.